Ooh, it's a beautiful morning. The sun just coming up over the horizon. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being here. Please subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, consider joining the channel membership. Only $1 a month. Details down in the description or the pinned comment. You'll get access to exclusive videos, first impression videos, and more. And beyond that, you're just going to be supporting the channel, supporting me as I prepare for my first 100-mile trail race. So subscribe, join the channel membership. All right, today we are talking about a special shoe, the Altra Torin 7. Check it out in that blue colorway, looking really nice and feeling really nice too. This is my full performance review. In typical See Chad Run fashion, we're going to talk about the build, comfort, performance, and the value of the Torin 7. But first, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about the specs and features of the Altra Torin 7?
Altra states, every stitch, every curve, every detail in the Torin 7 was re-engineered to deliver peak comfort and performance. With balanced cushioning and standard FootShape fit for natural movement, you can conquer any run, any road, and any distance in the Torin 7. As for some of the specs and features, you get the standard FootShape fit, Ego Max midsole foam, engineered mesh upper, redeveloped tongue compared to version 6, molded heel collar, 30mm stack, 0mm drop, coming in at 278 grams or 9.8 ounces in a men's size 9, and a US MSRP of $150. Chad, back over to you.
Now I should let you know that Altra did send me the Torin 7s for the purpose of review, but all thoughts, opinions, experiences are truly my own. Whew, that sun is getting bright. Additionally, all the B-roll footage that you're seeing was recorded after this long run. I am at mile roughly 16 of my 20-mile run this morning. This is icy. Oh, that's watery. Gotta be careful here. Yikes. Let's not waste any more time and get into this review, starting with the build. So the overall build is quite nice in the Altra Torin 7. In fact, I think they made some significant improvements over the previous version, version 6, which I did have. But specifically, they added a couple millimeters of midsole stack, which is a good thing. They improved the upper. I think the upper in the Torin 7 is going to last a lot longer than it did in the Torin 6, which in the Torin 6, I ended up developing a little hole right here on the inside of the shoe. Now, of course, time will tell, but I feel like this upper is a lot stronger, a better engineered mesh. Additionally, they made some other improvements like the tongue. It doesn't dig into my ankle, which is really nice. And the overall fit is just a little bit nicer overall, with a small caveat that I'll get to here next. So, no concerns with build quality at all. I think Altra really put the whole shoe together and they chose materials that were comfortable but are gonna last longer. Build quality, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. You know, one thing I love are these mountains out here. I'm sure the GoPro doesn't do justice, but yeah, they're just so pretty to look at. So now on to the comfort of the shoe. When I knew that I was going to be receiving the Torin 7, I had high hopes and high expectations. The Torin 6 was a good shoe, but found the midsole to go flat after about 150 to 200 miles. And because of that, I stopped running in the shoe. Now I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit because I do want to talk about performance. But as far as comfort, the outsole tread seems to be doing its job. It's nothing special, but it's adequate. The midsole is pretty nice. We'll see long term if it goes flat, but right now, after about 50 miles in the shoe, it's still feeling really good. It's somewhat plush, soft, and responsive. Just feels good for those daily miles. The midsole does not feel fast, like in a responsive sort of way. but I don't think that's why you run in this shoe. So those extra couple millimeters of heel stack compared to the Torin 6 seems to be making a big difference in the shoe, which I'm really happy about. The upper comfort is also really nice. You got a good heel flare, some nice padding around the ankle and the heel, no rubbing or hot spots. The laces and the tongue lay flat on the top of your foot, and it seems to give a pretty good hold across the top of your foot as well. Now, being an Altra shoe, you do get that FootShape upper, particularly in the toes, but that said, I feel like the upper isn't as roomy in the toe box as I would expect for an Altra. Now, it's more roomy than most shoes, and it feels secure, snug without being tight around the midfoot and the heel. But for an Altra, I would have expected just a little bit more room in the toe box. But compared to something like a Topo or the Altras of the past, yeah, it's just noticed that there's not quite as much toe room in that toe box. Just take that for what it's worth. Now, I mentioned the tongue earlier, but in the Torin 6, the top of the tongue right here dug into my ankle and ended up giving me a little bit of a sore spot. That is not the case. They've completely changed that in the Torin 7. Right here at the top of the tongue, it's actually extremely soft material, very flexible, so there's none of that digging in or rubbing at all. Hey, I'm filming here. Just kidding. I mean, I am filming, but that's beside the point. Do you see that? The ripples in the water? It was like a bunch of bubbling coming up out of the water there. I don't know what that was. That was really strange. What the heck? I don't know what's going on down there. Maybe it's just a spot where the water's coming up out of the lake here. So how would I rate the comfort of the shoe? I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. The only reason for a slight docking point is because the tongue is not gusseted. I feel like if it were gusseted on both sides, a full gusset, then it would just make the upper just that much more comfortable. Give it just a little bit more of a lockdown feel without restriction or hot spots. So it could just be improved there slightly. When it comes to a performance daily trainer zero drop shoe, the Altra Torin 7 is probably the shoe that you're eyeing and likely to buy. And if you're looking for a zero drop shoe to put your daily miles in, I think this is one of the best options. The Topo Magnifly 5 is a compelling option as well. However, the Torin 7 offers a better midsole underfoot feel. It's just a little bit softer, a little bit more comfortable underfoot. As mentioned previously, I've got about 50 miles in the shoe at this point, a good handful of runs, and I find that I want to run in this shoe. I enjoy the experience and the underfoot feel. Now, this is not going to be a good faster or tempo shoe. I don't feel the responsiveness in the midsole. And while the shoe's not heavy, it doesn't feel really lightweight either. I do appreciate, however, that the shoe is very neutral feeling. It's somewhat agile. And I feel that my foot can move, especially my toes, because there is just a little bit more room in that toe box compared to other shoes. Not compared to other Altras, but enough room for my toes to splay out and for my foot to do what it wants and needs to do. Performance of that outsole rubber seems to be adequate as well. There's very little wear showing in the shoe at this point. Should last the life of the shoe. And you get a pretty good spread of rubber as well, without there being too much and adding unnecessary weight. The performance of the upper is also really nice, as I alluded to earlier. A nice, secure, comfortable lockdown feel across the top of my foot. The upper breathes pretty well. And as usual, I feel like I'm missing something. So drop a comment if you have any questions. If you have this shoe, let me know how it's been holding out for you. or if this is a shoe you are considering and why you are considering the Torin 7. So my concluding thoughts on performance is if you are looking for a zero drop daily trainer, the Altra Torin 7 is a great shoe to consider. I've enjoyed my time in the shoe and I look forward to putting in even more miles. So I'm gonna give performance an 8 out of 10. The reason for a dock of points is because I am still a little concerned about the overall longevity and life of the midsole. And I know it's kind of judging the shoe maybe prematurely a little bit, but I also feel that there are a lot of very good competitive options out on the market that are probably a little bit better performing, although they're not zero drop. So keep that in mind. For example, the Puma Velocity 3. So now, what about the value? At $150 US MSRP, I feel like that's competitive, but on the slightly upper end of the price bracket. Now, I think Altra is very smart in pricing it at $150. They know what they're doing. They know that this is one of the best zero drop options on the market. Not the only, but one of the better options for sure. So they're gonna price the shoe at a cost that consumers are likely to pay. Now, is it worth buying the Torin 6 on discount? I don't think so. The Torin 7 really is a better shoe, and I think it's worth paying more to get the Torin 7 over the Torin 6. But $150 is $150, and that's a pretty penny to pay. Overall value, you're getting a very good shoe at an upper competitive price, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. So that is my full review of the Altra Torin 7. Now I'm really curious to compare this shoe to the Altra Forward Experience, which Altra also sent me. Even though the Forward Experience is a 4mm drop shoe and the Torin 7 is a zero drop, I'm curious to see which shoe I will enjoy running in more. So make sure you're subscribed, join the channel membership. You'll see my debut run initial thoughts and impressions video of the Forward Experience, but only if you're a member of the channel. And of course, look forward to my full review in that shoe. All right, I only have about 1.5 miles left of my 20-mile long run this morning. Really been enjoying myself today in the Altra Torin 7. I think this is one of the best zero drop daily trainer options on the market. So definitely consider it if that's what you're looking for. Appreciate you being here today. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I am in the Torin 7. See you on the next video. Bye. Whew.